Hey all, welcome back. This is a little share. It's actually an extraction from the longer format of the live Q&A recently. And I thought this question and answer might be generally helpful for some people. I'll try to have it kind of defined in the title so that you're only clicking on it if it's something that will be useful to you in your claim or your post-claim activity with the SSA with regard to other Social Security disability, SSI, dependent benefits, or retirement benefits, or anything else that could touch on the Social Security world that we all swim in right now. So I hope it helps, and I will talk to you later. If you ever want to be there live, that would be Wednesday, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the usually about 2 hours Q&A session, so anybody can ask their Social Security questions if they so desire. Okay, I will see you then. Bye, guys. LC says, if favorable SSDI, is it a given that you get CDR no matter the case or only certain cases like how strong your disability case is? Do you get one after a certain age, like over 55, recon 6 months? Pretty much everyone gets a CDR. Assume you're going to get a CDR. And yes, people over 55 get CDRs. People over 60 get CDRs. The chance of being passed over despite a diary date for a CDR, I think grows as you get older because your medical impairments may be the type that nothing did happen in the medical world to cause improvement, and it's not otherwise likely to improve. Age is a factor, I think, in the amount of people that get passed. Like they decide that we decided not to CDR you, so blah, blah. We'll see you again in a few years. And then that can happen over and over and over again. Or they can do a little mini with the short form. But you have to plan for CDR. And you can call them and they can tell you what they should be able to tell you once you win what your diary is. How many years or whatever. Hey, so if the subject matter of the video you just listened to is of interest and you want more on it, stay tuned. Here's another one about the same topic, but a little bit different. Bye now. Hey, this is about CDRs, continuing disability reviews. Most of you know that people that have claimed and are receiving Social Security disability or SSI are going to be subject to a CDR. There is some sort of myth out there that when you hit a certain age, you're not going to get a CDR. It's not true. I know that when someone is older, say over 60, there is a perception of, and it could be true, that there is a less likelihood of a CDR, barring any of the reasons why it would be, boom, slapped on them. And that may be because of the probably statistical reality that most people disabled at 60, particularly from chronic problems that there's no cure for, are not going to be improved enough to go back to work, more improved than they were when they became found disabled and their comparison point date. So, but for those that are still skeptical because they say, but I heard you can't get CDR'd if you're 60. Let's just go through it. CFR 404.1590. Read it, but I'm going to go through it real quick. This is about when and how often the SSA will conduct a continuing disability review. They give a general statement. I'll let you guys read that for yourselves. Under section B, when we will conduct a continuing disability review, it says, okay, first of all, everyone gets scheduled for them, right? If you've been scheduled for a medical improvement expected diary review, you're going to get reviewed for that. And that would probably be based on the found disabilities, the impairments, and what was decided at that time would be the expected improvement potential. If you have been scheduled for a periodic review, and that would be for those that were deemed to have medical improvement possible or medical improvement not expected. And then there's provisions down below. If they need a current medical or other report to see if your disability continues. So they go on to say this could happen when, for example, an advance in medical technology, such as improved treatment for Alzheimer's disease or a change in vocational therapy or technology raises a disability issue. So things outside of you can cause a need for a current review of some sort. And that would be when technology has been discovered or developed that would affect someone in your position potentially and improve them enough to go back to work. And number 4, if you return to work and you successfully complete a period of trial work, you will be reviewed. Number 5, substantial earnings are reported on your wage record. That's an obvious one. They're going to get that from the IRS and or the employer. Not sure exactly where the background comes from at all times. Could be both at any given time. Substantial probably meaning SGA. Number 6, if you tell them that you've recovered, obviously they're going to review you, or if you have returned to work. they're going to review you. So they don't say here whether that return to work has to be full-time. So if you go to work part-time, which I think is great, if your disability continues, obviously you're going to continue to have proof because you're going to continue to be treating, they're going to review potentially, or absolutely perhaps. Number 7, I'm going to skip. It's about if your state vocational rehab agency tells them that they've completed working with you. Look at number 8. Someone in a position to know of your physical or mental condition tells us any of the following, and it appears that the report could be substantially correct. This is kind of uncomfortable, but let me just go through it. First, they tell them that you're not disabled. Second, you're not following prescribed treatment. Third, you have returned to work, even if it's not coming from the IRS. That could be under the table work. Or 4, you are failing to follow the provisions of the Social Security rules or the regulations. Well, that's an open book, right? What does that mean? Honestly, this is where a neighbor rats you out or a disgruntled family member. It could be where you've done nothing wrong and you're still disabled. If they tell them that you're not disabled, they probably have to give a little detail as to how they come to that conclusion, but that's going to trigger a CDR, right? Because there are some people who commit fraud and they have to obviously check these things out, or else we'd all be without our Social Security benefits, all of us that are deserving, if those that are not, we're not checked out. Number 9, they say evidence that we receive, meaning the SSA receives, it's a question as to whether your disability continues. That's kind of akin to number 8. I mean, that's an open book. That could be anything. Remember, there are also investigations that can go on, surveils. So keep that in mind. And then 10 says you've been scheduled for a vocational reexamination diary review. Okay. I'm not going to go into the rest of it, but for everyone who thinks that age is a bar to a CDR, it's not true. Again, it could very well be you're on the 7-year roll, and at 60, there's not 7 years left in which to review you. But listen, you're really not taking it seriously if you think that you're totally protected, because that could make you be sloppy. And I don't want you to see you be sloppy. If you're a disabled person and can't work full time, I don't want you to be sloppy, whether that's not going to be evident if they take a glance at you. And by the way, they can be glancing at you when you're not aware. So it doesn't have to be only after you get some letter from them saying, hey, here's a 454 or a 455. Okay. All right. I hope that helps, guys. Bye. Thank you for joining and taking a listen to this video. If you have any questions that relate to this or anything else with regard to Social Security, disability, retirement, SSI, etc., please do feel free to post it in the comments below, even if it's not necessarily related to this video. And I will see them. And if it's something I can do a video on, I will be happy to do that. If you are looking for representation in a current battle to prove that you are disabled, whether you have applied yet or not, and ideally, if you have not applied yet, that's when we like to come in and start from the beginning and do our wonders. You can go to joydisability.com, look up to your left, and there's a little link for a free SSD evaluation, and we will take a look at it and let you know one way or the other. If you are looking for a consultation, not representation, or you can't get representation for whatever reason, or it's a non-representational type of issue you need to review, you are more than welcome to order a prepaid consultation. It will be with me personally, and that link is on that same page, joydisability.com, but over on the upper right. Anyway, thanks for staying tuned, and I hope to see you every day, 9 a.m. with our little video shares or live Q&A if you want to join me live on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.